Fox News alert. Donald Trump just wrapping up a joint news conference with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, floating the idea of the United States owning and operating the Gaza Strip. We'll have more on that later in the show. They're using the old good cop, bad cop routine in Washington. Trump's the good cop, Elon's the bad cop, and Trump's fine with it. The Times says he's moving at a speed and scale that's shocking civil servants, as Elon and his team are working with a frantic around-the-clock energy. Beds are being moved into the Eisenhower building so Musk's men can sleep at the office. Elon's nerd army, a bunch of 18 to 25-year-olds who rejected seven-figure salaries in Silicon Valley to trim fat in D.C. Young engineers in black backpacks, underpaid patriots, hitting the federal bureaucracy with AI and seeing what kind of waste, fraud, and abuse spills out. For decades, bald 60-year-old inspector generals audited federal agencies, found pork, wrote a report that no one read, and nothing changed. Finally, Trump assigned it to a pack of whiz kids, and we're already saving $1 billion a day. Pink slips are flying like confetti at the RNC. Bureaucrats are showing up to the office, and before they get coffee and log on, DOJ says, come into the conference room and sit down. This will only take a minute.
DOJ was in the building. We took down our pride flags. I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking. We heard they started taking transcripts automatically of all of our Google Meets. They unplugged the news in the little kitchen galleys. It didn't feel good. And then Saturday, all of the websites went down, and then I lost complete access to my computer.
Elon says we spent the weekend feeding USAID into the wood chipper. Could have gone to some great parties. Did that instead. Musk's treating our foreign aid office like a crime scene. Democrats in Congress tried to see what DOJ was doing, but the doors were locked.
So Elon Musk just shut the whole place down.
So you're asking questions of individuals who don't have the answers for you, except all of the wonderful press release that was released to the public. USAID is closed.
Okay, so you are aware this agency is very busy currently, and they are not able to take a meeting currently. They advise that they will be in contact shortly, and that best to contact the Department of State at this time if you need any further comments.
Who is they?
The front office of the administrator.
Trump basically shut the government out of government. And the Democrats shrugged, turned around, and went to dinner. This is what Democrats are fighting to save.
These are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government.
We can keep going. $20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street, $2 million for Moroccan pottery classes, $11 million to tell Vietnam to stop burning trash, $27 million to give gift bags to illegals before we deport them. Millions to help Afghanis grow crops instead of opium. That program was such a success that opium production doubled. We also gave Afghanistan $300 million to build diesel fuel power plants, but they couldn't use them because diesel was too expensive. $200 million on a dam that was too unsafe to ever be used. We could have used that dam in California. $250 million on a road that was never used. We literally built a road to nowhere. Oh, and we gave Syrians $9 million for humanitarian aid, but someone messed up and it went to Al-Qaeda. $1 million for bat research in Wuhan. That equates to $1 million for each dead American. USAID was funding Fashion Week in Paris. France isn't even paying its NATO dues, and we're paying for their Fashion Week. USAID's a $40 billion deep state social justice slush fund. And the president says it's a little fishy.
Elon Musk, how often are you talking to him? And have there been ideas that he's brought to you that you said, oh, no, wait a minute, this is going a little too far?
Oh, many ideas, but look, he's done a great job. Look at all the fraud that he's found in this USAID. It's a disaster what the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what, with money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money. With the money, I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money?
USAID is an American intelligence cutout. They've been caught staging coup after coup across Latin America, funding paramilitary groups and getting kicked out of countries for subversive activities. The deeper we investigated USAID, the more it looks like a dark money Democrat super PAC. And if you take all of the executives from USAID, the Clinton Foundation, the Gates Foundation, the World Bank, the WHO, you get a Venn diagram that would tickle Kamala Harris. Burisma got a contract with USAID through Hunter. It was so shady that the Obama White House was like, nice try, and canceled it. Hunter's firm was repping clients who were trying to cash in on USAID disaster relief in Haiti. And by the way, the Clinton Foundation worked arm in arm with USAID in Haiti, and $1 billion disappeared, and Haiti is still Haiti. USAID was pouring billions into the hands of open borders groups. We were literally funding the invasion and buying them gift bags as they left. Here's Stephen Miller.
There's probably no entity in the government that is more of an entrenched power center of unelected bureaucrats with less accountability, less oversight than USAID. They funnel money to their cronies all over the world through a swampy network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and cutouts, including potentially some very troubling elements of focusing on things like regime change and destabilizing foreign countries. But this is not about America's interests. Donald Trump is courageously restoring democracy. Americans voted for one man, Donald J. Trump. They voted for Donald Trump to make government accountable to the taxpayer.
And USAID is only 0.7% of the federal budget. If they found this much fraud and corruption in this one tiny agency, imagine how bad the rest of it is. Imagine what we'll find in the Pentagon. We hit a nerve. And of all the things that Trump's done in 3 weeks, of all the things, the media chose foreign aid getting Doge to go to war.
What's happening right now is a hostile takeover of the U.S. government.
I'm going to tell you right now, people are going to die in very large numbers around the world who are expecting the United States to live up to our promises to get them medicine, to get them help. Donald Trump says, we don't care. You go die.
If this were happening in any other country right now, I promise you, I'd be on the air calling it a coup.
Cutting foreign spending isn't a coup. A coup is when you whack a doddering president from the ticket. AOC, whose district turned into a red light district because of Biden's migrants, doesn't have a crush on Musk anymore. Now she thinks he's dumb.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. They don't do their homework. Clearly, like, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart. And the danger in the lack of intelligence and the lack of expertise that Elon has. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we really know of.
A dumb billionaire doesn't shoot men into space like Musk. A dumb billionaire opens borders and prisons like Soros. Chuck Schumer dropped his Corona and guac and started singing.
And we will win! 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 We won't rest! We won't rest! We won't rest!
Chuck sings better than he grills, but it wasn't just him. The whole Congress is hysterical.
No one elected Elon Musk to nothing.
That's right.
Not one Democrat in America voted for Elon Musk.
What we're not going to do is stand around while they pull this bullshit. We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses.
We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nepo baby. Every movement needs a scrappy little and I am that person. I need each and every one of you to get in touch with your inner scrappy little.
Nobody elected your ass. This is not Elon Musk's country.
Take your foot off my neck.
It's all women screaming and Chuck singing. No one voted for Dr. Jill, but she was president for 4 years. When did Democrats start caring about chain of command? They got caught running a shadow government. The commander-in-chief had nap times. He had note cards to tell him where to sit. Senate Democrats say they're going to retaliate because unless Iraqis watch Sesame Street, the Constitution is in tatters. For them, it's about power, not your tax dollars. Democrats need dark money agencies like USAID to staff their cronies, launder money, wage information warfare, and sabotage Trump. But Musk sniffed it out and doged them. They're not mad about the money. They're mad they got caught.
The Trump doctrine, it is in full effect. It is shock and awe. And the mainstream media and Democrats, they are in shambles, freaking out. They have no idea what is going on. So as a public service tonight, I will interpret for them exactly what he said and what his true intentions are. Just like he's starting a trade war. Oh, there goes the economy. Oh, my. No. They don't understand Donald Trump, but I will help them. Anyway, even Stephen A. Smith, by the way, is now calling his own party pathetic. Take a look.
The Democratic Party looks so pathetic after this election. I might entertain running. I just might change my mind one day. I doubt it, but I might. Because how much would it take to beat y'all? And Trump can't run again.
And by the way, Stephen A. apparently thinking about possibly running for president. Okay. And we'll challenge him on his recent support for DEI. Also, stay tuned tonight. We have a preview. Yours truly will be in a Super Bowl commercial. We have the ad. And later, Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, will be with us just hours after the president delivered this stern warning to the mullahs of Iran and much more. Take a look.
They cannot have a nuclear weapon. With me, it's very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. We don't want to be tough on Iran. We don't want to be tough on anybody, but they just can't have a nuclear weapon.
Why say that you're unhappy to sign it if it's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani?
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did.
The president also introduced tonight a proposal for the future of Gaza. He said the Palestinian population needs to be absorbed by other countries. Gaza needs to be demilitarized, and he's offering to do the job and rebuild it into a beautiful safe haven. Take a look.
The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Let's be clear. What the president is saying is Gaza can no longer be a safe haven for terrorists to launch attacks against Israel and others. And if you knew Donald Trump even a little bit, you would think he came down the escalator in 2015. Donald Trump is once again, just like in saying he would have tariffs, he is negotiating and sending a loud message to the entire Arab world. Get engaged. End this conflict once and for all, eliminate terrorism in the area, and a new day will begin. Now, we're going to talk to Steve Witkoff, his special envoy to the Mideast, about the president's big plans, and that includes Israel, Gaza, Iran. And thanks to Biden's weakness, Iran has reportedly now been working with North Korea to build a nuclear missile that would be capable of hitting Europe. That can never happen. But that project is coming to an end under President Trump, along with Prime Minister Netanyahu. America's maximum pressure campaign, it is back. Peace through strength has returned. The deep state's woke left-wing piggy bank has been shattered. This was on display. U.S. aid was just exposed by the Department of Government Accountability, or DOGE, thanks to Elon Musk and a small team of programmers. Well, the gig is up. The truth has been revealed. Most Americans have no idea how billions and billions and billions of your hard-earned tax dollars was being spent all over the world on bizarre, green, woke, DEI, transgender programs for other countries all over the world. Billions and billions. Meanwhile, Americans need help here. They spent a whopping $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq, $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma, $2 million on trans-led organizations and sex change operations. Is this how you want your hard-earned tax dollars to be spent? $520 million for Green New Deal investments in Africa. $1.5 million was sent to Serbia to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then the fun stuff, 70 grand for, Ireland to produce a DEI musical, 50 grand for a transgender opera in Colombia, 30 grand for a transgender comic book in Peru, 2.5 million for electric cars in Vietnam, another 1 million for so-called clean energy in Africa, 44 million for Venezuela and their migrants in Colombia. Millions more go to Gaza, ended up in the hands of Hamas and other terrorists. Nearly 5 million went to the Eco Health Alliance. Oh, what? So they can fund a lab in Wuhan working on gain-of-function research? Not very smart. We could go on, as you can see on your screen, but it would take us pretty much the entire night to read through the list of billions of wasted taxpayer dollars. Now, keep in mind, according to the Daily Wire, why are Democrats freaking out? 97% of all employee donations from U.S. aid workers, they went to the Democratic Party. And by the way, this is just the tip of the iceberg. DOGE is just getting started. Buckle up. Plans are already underway for the Department of Education, the Department of State, the Department of Defense. Elon Musk recently said when there is an important task, he will keep working until that job is done or die trying. Naturally, Democrats, they're not too happy. They don't want government accountability. They don't want limited government. They don't want to return to constitutional order. They want the power that comes with that money, the influence they think they have with your money. They haven't been this worked up in a while. They were out of the denial and grief stage, and now they're back to the anger stage when it comes to all things Donald Trump. Moments ago, Elizabeth Warren had a full public meltdown while ranting and raving about Elon Musk. You got to love this. Take a look.
No one elected Elon Musk to nothing.
That's right.
Not one Democrat in America voted for Elon Musk.
Not one.
Not one Republican in America voted for Elon Musk. Not one independent in America voted for Elon Musk. Not one libertarian in America voted for Elon Musk. Damn, not one vegetarian in America voted for Elon Musk. And yet, Elon Musk is seizing the power that belongs to the American people. We are here to fight back.
You fight back, Elizabeth, because guess what? What you don't like is Elon Musk was appointed by the president, duly elected by the people, and he is exposing all the waste, fraud, abuse, and frankly, outright stealing of American taxpayer dollars, and he's going to clean it up, whether you like it or not. And it gets worse. One Democratic congresswoman claiming we are now at war and it's time to shut down Washington, D.C. and fight in the streets. Maybe those hats from 2017 are about to come back. I don't know. Take a look.
We will not take this. We will fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and God damn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war.
We're at war? Wow. Most Democrats didn't seem to care about Americans in East Palestine or the hurricane victims of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. They made excuses for California's government as fire hydrants and reservoirs ran dry and entire neighborhoods burned to the ground in L.A. They said nothing as millions of unvetted Harris-Biden illegal immigrants, including terrorist cartel members, gang members, all poured across our southern border. They didn't get that worked up. Elon Musk uncovers massive government waste, fraud, abuse, exposes billions and billions and billions of far-left taxpayer-funded global piggy bank that they get their power from, and they're ready to go to war? According to the left, Elon Musk is now anti-American, a threat to democracy. Why? For holding America's elected bureaucracy accountable? Take a look.
We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like.
This is a constitutional crisis that we are in today. Let's call it what it is. The people get to decide how we defend the United States of America. The people get to decide how their taxpayer money is spent. Elon Musk does not get to decide.
If democracy is a quote-unquote left-wing ideology to Elon Musk, I mean, this man is un-American as far as my definition of America is. And I'm the fact that more people aren't offended by this man's actions. I mean, shows you how much he has helped successfully destroy the trusted information ecosystem, because this is a 5-alarm fire. Elon Musk is a 5-alarm fire, and the country doesn't realize it yet.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework.
So, I mean, are Americans going to be okay with Musk? Oh, okay. A guy nobody voted for having all this kind of power.
Let's see, SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, rescuing astronauts that Harris and Biden lost in space. That would be Donald Trump. I'm sorry, that would be Elon Musk getting lectured on intelligence from AOC. Okay, I'll put that in the back of my head. They hate Musk because he's exposing all of this misappropriation of your hard-earned tax dollars. We'll scroll it again in a minute. And also because he is helping Donald Trump fulfill his promise. And we're returning to limited government, greater freedom, and not wasting our money abroad. But we're going to put the American people first. And you want to go to war and you want to assassinate the character of Elon Musk, who's doing this for free? Really? Remember, we are $40 trillion in debt. They are stealing your money. They are stealing the money for your children and your grandchildren. And the Biden administration, we just found out today, made $236 billion in improper payments last year alone. That's $250 billion they wasted. And we're now beginning to see where they're spending that money because they get their power doing that. And the inflation under Biden devalued the dollar by more than 20%. Americans struggling to get by. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're paying the bare minimum on their credit cards. The Democratic Party's upset that all this money, this insanity, this DEI, woke ideology, Green New Deal madness abroad, not even for our country, is no longer going to be able to fund transgender operas in Europe and DEI programs in Asia. And they're calling this a constitutional crisis, their word of the day. This is madness. And thanks to President Trump and Elon Musk, America is being rescued from a malignant, out-of-control bureaucracy. The swamp is being drained. Welcome aboard. Those in the swamp, well, they're pretty angry about it.
I said sit down. Sit down. Somebody grab that poor lady who passed out. Happy Tuesday, everyone. So congratulations to Joe Biden, who signed with the Hollywood powerhouse agency, CAA. He's already landed the lead in the reboot of The Walking Dead. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris just signed a deal to get her old job back. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum made a deal with Trump to pause tariffs and put 10,000 Mexican troops on the border. And the best part is they all fit in one car. Oh, you laugh at that? Ilhan Omar slammed Trump for wanting to shut down the USAID agency, who she credited with getting her family to America. Even more, they were able to get her brother and her husband here on one ticket. Gen Z gun control activist David Hogg has been elected as vice chair of the DNC. In the next 5 years, his goals are to get rid of ICE, the NRA, and his virginity. After 20 wonderful years, Chuck Todd has left NBC News. He plans to take some time to... Wow, way to ruin my joke. He plans to take some time to enjoy what's left of his hairline. Kanye West's wife, Beyonce Sensori, appeared in a see-through outfit at the Grammys, making viewers grateful that West isn't married to Hillary Clinton. Terrible. On Friday, anti-ICE protesters burned the American flag, the country they want to stay in, and then waved the Mexican flag, the country they don't want to return to. It's weird. That's like cheating on your girlfriend with your wife.
Yeah, Jamie, you don't nod on that one. That's not a nod.
Think about it.
You didn't learn that at nod school.
And finally, cattle auctions could be coming to an end at America's last big city stockyard. Now, if you want to place a bid on live cattle, you got to come to New York City. You're so mean. I wouldn't do those jokes if you didn't love them. So Trump had quite a weekend, while the rest of us mowed lawns, watched a game, or called ICE on Selena Gomez. What was he doing? The usual. Carved out millions of government waste, started cleaning out a corrupt DOJ, got Venezuela to take back their gangbangers, persuaded Panama to drop the sweetheart deal with China, got Mexico and Canada in line to fight the fentanyl trade, got 10,000 new Mexican military personnel sent to the border. Plus, he ordered 17 pizzas to Stormy Daniels' house under the name Still a Loser. That's quite a weekend. All I did was rescue those college gymnasts from a makeshift dungeon at my lake house. Wow.
Not a big fan of serial killing. Huh?
Yeah.
Captain Crunch, no? All right.
But it begs comparison between the old and the new. Here's the new guy. Yeah, compare that. All right. Compare that to the old. So, is this a new golden age? And I don't mean the pee stains Joe left on the Oval Office rug. The thing is, with Trump getting so much done so fast, you got to wonder, what was the holdup? What was stopping us? Was the prices right on? But maybe it's not just that Trump's making the moves. It's that most of us didn't know these moves were even possible. I mean, who knew America could actually get big stuff done anymore? It's like if Stephen Hawking's wife woke up one day and found the kitchen spotless.
Oh, come on.
He would have laughed. It would have sounded weird, but he would have laughed.
Yeah, it's not like he was going to get up and kick your ass when he made the joke.
I mean, did any of us know that the Chinese had locked up a deal with the Panamac anal until Trump called it out? Or that Venezuela had American hostages until Trump freed them? Or that China was shipping in billions of cheap goods under something called the de minimis loophole, which provided cover for fentanyl smuggling? I mean, what's a de minimis loophole? I had no idea. It sounds like a sex act from Star Wars. One thing you could say about the Trump administration, they're terrible at keeping government secrets. And it's beautiful, because suddenly we're all learning a hell of a lot that we didn't know before. For instance, we can reduce 6,000 border crossings a day to under 600. I haven't seen numbers drop like that since Whoopi got on Ozempic. Did you know there are more suspects on the terror watch list coming from Canada than Mexico? Did you know Canada is a major source of fentanyl entering the country? Did you know Canadian bacon is just mediocre ham? I know I didn't, and I'm the voice of a generation. I thought the only horrible thing Canada ever gave us was Seth Rogen. Then there's Ukraine. Trump just told Zelensky that if he expects our cash, then we get the rare earth metals. You know, the metals essential to our iPhones, lithium batteries, and Lil Wayne's teeth. So that's new. Hell, all Joe Biden got out of Ukraine was a fake job for his son. And the same goes for Greenland. Have you really ever thought about Greenland? Trump did. Suddenly we find out it's key to securing America's future shipping. Where the hell has all this intel been? Was it sitting in that file near Biden's Corvette? Just like the one with the addresses of all the rapists, murderers, and human traffickers that ICE has suddenly been able to round up? And don't get me started with NGOs. Until Trump came along, I thought an NGO was something I picked up from a stripper on spring break. Then there's USAID. It sounds like a patriotic sports drink. Turns out it's yet another federal agency none of us knew about, which sent $1 billion of our cash to Gaza, money that apparently went to Hamas. I guess ISIS only took Venmo. They also spent millions in DEI on places like Serbia, Peru, Guatemala, and paid for a transgender opera in Colombia. What was that called? Madame Butterfly has a They helped the Taliban make heroin, which they then spent on sluttier goats. And let's not forget, they also helped fund a certain Chinese lab in Wuhan, which I think cancels all the humanitarian aid USAID claimed to provide. So anyway, Trump's been in charge a few weeks, and we're suddenly getting a truth tidal wave. Love him or hate him, there's no denying, Trump is where government secrets go to die. And you can follow all of it, but only if you can keep up with the guy. Good luck with that. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His kids still haven't given him a forwarding address. Actor and writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. There aren't many who are brighter than this very thoughtful writer, attorney Julian Epstein. Her maternity is taking an eternity. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tube. And Greenland is his ice pack. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, comedian, and the former editor of What's Jamie, so when you hear about Trump's weekend, you must feel even more worthless than you already feel. I mean, what are your weekends? You take one of your estranged kids to McDonald's, sit in a parking lot?
Yep, me, him, and the cop. I really felt productive this weekend. All I did was put my garbage at the street, and then I watched those guys take it.
Yes.
And I was like, that feels good. Isn't it fun, though, to watch the left go crazy like, oh, my God, the president's doing stuff. I didn't know the president was allowed to do stuff. I thought we just Googled him every day to find out if he was still alive. Like, it's fascinating to watch. He's done so many things in, what's it been, just over a week. Do you know when they asked Biden, when he took office, do you remember, they asked him what he wanted for his first executive order, and he said, cream of wheat.
Is there going to be a time that we retire the Joe Biden jokes?
I hope so, only because that means we won't have heard from him. But until then, these haven't expired yet, Greg. They have not.
Julian, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How do the Democrats deal with this? Because you keep hearing that they're kind of overwhelmed.
Well, first, thanks for having me on the show. Democrats deal with this the same way they've been dealing with almost everything else the last 10 years, which is a lot of contempt, a lot of disdain, and a lot of ad hominem name-calling. Mm-hmm. When you swim in a culture long enough, you don't notice the culture. Mm-hmm. But this is all the Democrats stand for. They don't build anything anymore. It used to be a party that built things. Mm-hmm. Look at what happened in Los Angeles. Look at what happened with the train system here in New York. Supposed to be done in 2009. Started in 2009, still hasn't started. Democrats have lost the ability to build, and all they do is sort of complain and issue contempt citations. It's about all they do. Trump, on the other hand, this has been remarkable what he's done. Mm-hmm. I mean, it shows that he does what he promised he would say he would do, which is very refreshing for the American people. It shows an incredible business-like efficiency, and it shows strength. Like him or hate him, Donald Trump is a strong guy, and even a very strong guy and a strong leader. And even when there were lots of sort of complaints, even from places like the Wall Street Journal and conservative quarters about tariffs, he doesn't back down. And American people like somebody that doesn't back down. So it's quite a contrast between strength on the one hand showed by Trump and contempt by the Democrats, which the American people don't like.
Yeah, in fact, it's like it's so strange that things are actually happening at this speed, Kat. Do you think Donald Trump is on something?
I don't actually.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't actually.
That was a trap to set you up.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's exactly what I need. A trap. I think that what's been the most remarkable has just been the light that's been shined on a lot of different things and kind of allowing people to think differently about stuff. Because I feel like before, I mean, it really is remarkable. You know that our tax dollars, we pay so much that, we get so little, but just how stupid some of the stuff is. When you hear something like foreign aid, you could never criticize that, right? Because what comes to mind when you hear foreign aid?
Humanitarian.
You hear the kid, right?
Yeah, the kid.
The kid in the pile of rubble with like a little tin can.
Yes.
That they put oatmeal in, right? And you're like, who would take this from this kid?
Yeah.
You would be a monster. But then you realize that they're also funding, diversity training in Serbia or whatever else, all this other stuff. So actually just shining a light on these things, I think in and of itself is a remarkable thing because and I hope that this happens across departments. The Defense Department as well, they fail every audit. I mean, we need to look at what kind of stuff that money's actually being spent on and not just relying on the positive branding that a lot of these words bring to mind.
Yeah, it's a great point. Oh,
one person's like, hell yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Tyrus, it is a good point. It seems like Trump's administration is almost doing the work of investigative journalists should have done.
Well, that would have been nice, but, journalists, good luck finding them or a dodo. President Trump learned a lot from not being in the office.
Yeah.
And the one thing he learned from the first time is that even when you get in, the fight just begins. And so many times when presidents have had the Senate and the House, they think they had time. They could spread things out and we can get a win here and then we can get a win there. No. And before they know it, they don't have the House anymore. So everything ends up getting shut down and slowed down. He's not going to allow that to happen because, and what he's doing and the way he's doing it I refer to him as a third black president, but he is also the most arrogant black brother I have ever met in my life. And
He knows, he's completely aware that everyone's going to find a way, and eventually they're going to get to a couple of these Republicans. You know, when the lobbyists, they're eventually going to get to a couple of Republicans, all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, I'm more conservative and I have issues with this. It always happens. So he's doing it now when they can't because everyone's watching and he's showing the show. And then he has time to send a text on a Saturday night, like, yo, guess who filled Kelly up with water, Tyrus, and with pictures? I'm like, how do you have time for this? Because he's not sleeping.
Yeah.
He knows he's got 100 days to do what he needs to do. And you made a joke about a month ago, and I think at 2 years, he might be like, I'm done.
Yeah,
JD,
3 months.
it's yours.
Yeah.
Deuces, I'm out. I'll be golfing. Call me. Because he knows. No, I think that's the plan, is to get it done because he doesn't have to run for re-election.
And we've never seen anything like this before. I mean, it's very, to Tyrus's point, it's very gangster. I mean, you know, politicians by their nature say, let's do a commission, study something for 6 months, and then we'll think about getting it done. Trump says, F that. I'm getting it done today.
Because the swamp will fight back.
Yeah, you do it like the Republicans would take their time, like they're like it's like one chef working on an 8-course meal, and he's like McDonald's, just flinging the burgers into your face, into your fat faces. All right, I don't know why I said fat faces. I apologize. You're all very svelte, too svelte.